Welcome to the weekly update on all things sports. I'm Amberlyn Negron. To start our update off, the Los Angeles Dodgers won their 8th World Series title after defeating the New York Yankees in their home stadium by 1 run last Wednesday. This is the team's second series win in the last decade following their 2020 victory over the Tampa Bay Rays.
True with this group of guys, I couldn't ask for a better year.
Last Friday, the champs celebrated their win with 2 million fans at their victory parade and rally in downtown LA. Their merch store also released a line of limited edition bats commemorating their epic performance this season. Heading back to Texas, men's basketball had their season opener this Monday. Number 19 Longhorns played against unranked Ohio State in Las Vegas for the first game of the 2024 season and their first game as members of the SEC. Unfortunately, the Horns fell short and lost 72-80 against the Buckeyes. However, not all bad things came from the opener. Texas freshman and guard Trey Johnson had an outstanding performance during the game, so well that he broke Kevin Durant's freshman scoring record of 20 points with his own 29 points in his debut performance as a Longhorn. You can get a glimpse of Johnson tomorrow at the home game against Houston Christian University. In football, Texas resurfaces at number 5 in the AP poll. After their close victory over Vanderbilt, Texas has re-entered the top 5 conversation. Texas held the number 1 title for 3 weeks, but dropped, concluding their first loss to Georgia in the controversial game 3 weeks ago. A week of sitting at rank 6, the Horns are back at number 5 with hopes to climb. Their next matchup is with the Florida Gators. Returning to DKR Stadium this Saturday, Texas will face their 5th SEC opponent, the University of Florida, with large favors pointing toward a burnt orange victory, but head coach Sarkisian does not want to get ahead of himself.
We know the month of November for us is one that's going to be challenging, but as we say around here, the games in November are the ones you remember. So we got to put in a lot of work, and it starts this Saturday against University of Florida.
The matchup will happen at 11 a.m. this Saturday as the 6th home game this season with a sold-out crowd. Election season has arrived at the University of Texas at Austin. Students can cast their vote on the representatives they want. This includes the person in charge of the voice of campus, the Daily Texan editor-in-chief. Texas Student Media Assistant Director Frank Serpas says electing an editor gives students autonomy over the paper.
But this way, the students as a whole, for the whole campus, get a chance to, just read what the candidates write, what their thoughts are on the way the paper should be run, and make a choice based on that.
While the university does not appoint the editor, the Board of Trustees who oversee Texas Student Media certify candidates to appear on the ballot. It was in this room where candidates presented their applications to the board and were then certified. This year, students can choose from 2 candidates who will appear on the ballot. Editor hopeful Mahir Kokel says it's important for students to have a voice in the university's paper.
The Texan has sometimes become an echo chamber and an isolated bubble because we continue to select and cherry pick from a certain group of people rather than opening up the conversation to the wider community.
Mahir's opponent, Mackenzie Henningsen, says the Texans' purpose is for the students.
The primary function of the job is to hold the university accountable. So in electing us by the student body rather than having us be appointed, we can do that fairly.
Students can vote in the campus-wide elections online via the Office of the Dean of Students official website. Amberlyn Negron, reporting Texas TV. The experimental drawings of secret artist Marcelio Galvan is Blanton's newest art exhibition. Galvan only used paper and pen to create art reflective of life in Mexico and social movements of the late 1960s. His work differed from traditional art because he used techniques similar to sketches rather than painted portraits.
It's important to note that Galvan had an incredibly fruitful and productive career, but he mostly kept it among his circle and to himself.
It wouldn't be until after his death in 1982 when Galvan's family started promoting his work to different curators across Mexico and the United States.
One of the curators said that had he promoted his work, he would have been recognized for what he really was, which is one of the best draftsmen of Mexico of the 20th century.
His biggest promoter is his daughter, Amaranta Galvan Jimenez, who says she wants her father's work to transcend his death. For me, promoting my father's work is very important because I believe this masterful imagery has the ability to communicate visually with generations, including the young, through his work. Blendon has over 40 pieces of Galvan's work displayed in the exhibit, and to honor his heritage, the art descriptors are in both English and Spanish. Work from some of his contemporaries are also displayed in the exhibit as well. Galvan's exhibit is what Professor Carrie Cordova says is a chance for museums to tell more diverse stories.
They offer spaces for learning about the world, and if you go into a museum and you're only learning one story, then maybe that's not as open as the museum would like to be.
Amberlyn Negron, reporting Texas TV.